So I hope that that is also another draw for you to be here and think about whether or not you'd like to join us here at NYU, is that we bring something for you here that no other American university can talk about. Not only do we have multiple of global campuses, but we really have the most international student body, especially in the graduate space, than any other university. We draw students from so many different corners.
They're steering you in the way towards what is right with least obstacles. They're sitting there in your corner telling you and reminding you that they are there for you, people who have your best interest in mind, have your success in mind, and who act accordingly. And so that's largely the question I have for you today. Who is in your entourage? As you sit here today, and as you will look back years from now and look back and say, who did I bring with me? Who did I collect? Who did I make part of that entourage?
It's okay to be uncomfortable. For most of my life, I'm uncomfortable. And so you get used to the idea of being uncomfortable, but get what you need, right? So make a list of what you need, reach out to the people, and if they don't answer you, go to the next person. But it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's part of life, and I think it's part of growing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
All the things that you have access to at your fingertips as being a student at NYU. Bob Marley has a song, "In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty," right? And so there's abundance of resources and wealth and connections. So what you need to do is really, I encourage, you don't need to, but I encourage you, there's a whole socialization process that each of your departments set up. So you have to identify not only faculty, but the administrative and support staff. Who are going to be your coaches and cheerleaders throughout this process? Because once you become socialized, then you can create a sense of belonging. Once you create a sense of belonging, then you'll start to have meaningful and purposeful engagement, right? Meaningful and purposeful engagement typically manifests in positive academic outcomes. And once you have positive academic outcomes, you flourish. And I think that's our charge to you is, how can you make this experience work for you? How can you flourish while you're here at the university?
So the question is, how do you find the right mentor? And I think part of what is helpful when you think about this mentoring paradigm is that it's not just one person. And I think you heard that several times. Dean Antonio mentioned it. Here at NYU with our faculty, and I try to impart upon our faculty to encourage this idea of mentoring in a very holistic way. So you can learn from each other in the room. There's peer mentoring. There are opportunities to learn from people who may be within your school. I heard a couple of people shout out Tish, SPS. They're all different schools represented here. So I do want you to leverage mentors within your schools, but think about people outside of your school. Think about administrators, other staff individuals, people who are remote within New York or within your school, but who can provide you with fresh perspective outside of your normal network. And then in some cases, they're even invisible mentors. Well, what do I mean by that? I've had a number of people who I've learned from, and I've never actually met them, but I've read their articles, I've read their books, I've watched their talks, and so there are many things that they do, and I find it inspiring, and so I learn from them. And so I think if we have an expansive understanding of our mentoring networks and things that we can learn, this can be a part of our repository for success.